Hi, I'm Izzy from Gravity Wiz, and today we will be setting up address autocomplete in Gravity Forms so that when somebody starts typing an address, Google suggestions will pop up and their entire address can be filled out with a click. Typing out a full address can be tedious, especially on mobile. Address autocomplete makes forms easier and faster to fill up. So this means fewer people will abandon your form halfway through. You get clean, standardized address data every time. So I have a magical pet grooming form and customers will be filling it out with their address. It can take time to fill out, so we want to make it as easy as possible for customers to give us their address. So we will be using three things. First is Gravity Forms Address Autocomplete. This is the Gravity Perks plugin that adds autocomplete to your address fields. Second is Google Places API. This is Google's database of addresses worldwide. Third is Maps JavaScript API. This is what powers the autocomplete functionality. API, which stands for Application Programming Interface, is a way for two applications to communicate with each other. So you only need to set up Google Cloud Platform once and it will work across your forms. We also have a companion article for this guide, which we've linked in the description below. These are the steps that we need to accomplish. First is to create a Google Cloud Platform project. Second is to enable Places API. Third is to generate and secure our API key. Fourth is to add the API key to our Gravity form. Fifth is to enable autocomplete on our address fields. And sixth is to test it out. So let's go. So step one is to create a project in Google Cloud Platform Console. So think of this as creating a folder where Google tracks all the services that you're using. So we first need to go to the Google Cloud Platform Console. You will have to set up an account here and you will be given $300 worth of free credits. So to create a new project, we will go to the project dropdown where it says select a project, click on that, and then click on new project, and then click create. So for step two, we now need to enable Places API. So this is what knows all the addresses in the world. We need to enable this so that we can access the address data from Google. So click on the menu icon, look for APIs and services, and click on library. We now search for Places API. So it's important here to note that you click on Places API and not Places API New because Gravity Perks Address Autocomplete doesn't support the new version just yet, and we'll let you know once it supports that. So for now, click on Places API, click on Places API here. Oops. And then we click Enable. So here is our API key. So an API key is what lets Google know that our website is allowed to use their services. So after I enabled Places API, it automatically generated an API key, but we also need to secure our API key. In case somebody finds your API key, they can only use it for address lookups on your website. So now let's secure our API key. We will click on websites. Here where it says refer, this is where you will be putting your website domain. Then you click strict key. We then need to go to credentials. I'll click on Maps Platform API key. We will scroll to where it says API key restrictions. Under restrict key, right now it says all 32 APIs, but we want to restrict this to Places API and Maps JavaScript API. So what I did is just to make sure that only Places API and Maps JavaScript API are selected, and then we click OK. And then let's click Save. Next, we enable a Maps JavaScript API. So this is what powers the autocomplete functionality. So we're back in our API library and we will look for Maps JavaScript API. We click on that and then click Enable. Let's go back to our credentials In our Maps platform API key, click on Show Key to get our API key, and then we copy that. So now that we're done with that, it's time to move on to step 4, which is to add the API key to our Gravity Forms. I'll go back to my Gravity Forms page. So we need to add the API key to Gravity Forms because this tells Gravity Forms to use our Google account for the address suggestions. Under the forms, we click on Settings, and then we click on Autocomplete. And under Google API key, we will be pasting our API key here. You also have the option to restrict which countries will show up in your dropdown. Then when you're ready, click Save Settings. Step 5 is to set up and enable Gravity Perks Autocomplete. So let's go back to our sidebar and under the forms, click on Spellbook. Here is Gravity Perks Address Autocomplete. We will install it and then activate it. This is what connects Google's API to Gravity Forms so that the address can be auto-completed. Now let's go back to our form. So I've already set up my address field in my form. We will just be clicking on that. And on the sidebar, let's look for the Perks tab. And then we click on Enable Google Address Autocomplete. And then we click Save Form. Step 6 is now to test it out. Let's use Gravity Perks Live Preview for this. So once we start typing our address in the street address field, Google's suggestion of addresses should pop up. There you go. Then once we click that, it auto completes all the address fields. And that's it. You now have Gravity Perks address autocomplete set up on your Gravity Forms. So if you want to learn how else you can customize your Gravity Forms, check out our other tutorials on our YouTube page. And be sure to subscribe for more tips. Thanks for watching, and until the next time, adventurers!